feeding Gotham's wealth, its spirit, but your feast is nearly over.
This is not my home. It's an operating table. And I'm the surgeon. Why aren't you laughing?
From this moment on, none of you are safe.
Welcome to the Batman Book Club, a podcast exploring the Dark Knight Library. I'm your host, Ryan Lauer. The Batman Book Club is a proud member of the Batman Podcast Network, hosted by Batman on Film. Just go to batmanonfilm.com, click on podcasts, and you'll find the Batman Podcast Network that has a whole list of other Bat-related shows that also talk about other nerdy subjects that we all love to frolic about in our free time, including Peter Verra, frolic. Batman Book Club is also on Patreon. If you like what's going on with the show, you want to help support the show and keep the generators running in the Wayne Manor study, just go to patreon.com/thebatmanbc. And a major shout out to the latest patron to join and support the show, Nicholas Bolavko. I hope I pronounced your last name correctly. Thank you, Nicholas, for becoming a new patron
B.
and supporting the show. Much appreciated. And as I always say, never expected, always appreciated. So thank you, Nicholas. Now, thank you for listening to episode 167, Batman in September. A month has wrapped up, so I've got to bring in the big guns as we process a month's worth of new Batman comics. He's the Italian around these here parts. He's also a frolicker, Peter Verra. Hello, Peter.
Do you know any other people of Italian descent?
Yeah, Haas. He's a Mario brother.
That doesn't count. He might.
Oh, okay.
He's not even a Goomba.
Okay. All right. Them there's fighting words, Peter, from the sheriff. He'll get you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. We're rolling now, aren't we? Great.
Oh,
Are you ready to talk about this month's comics?
Yeah. Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
I'm sure. Oh, sure.
Oh,
Love it.
wow.
You always come in and fight when I'm like, you ready to talk, Peter? Like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Really gets everybody
Book
invested.
sucks.
Gets everybody ready to hear what kind of words we're gonna spit. So let's get to talking then. Let's not waste any more time. Because Pete's energized and I'm energized.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Batman comics in
Batman.
September.
Get it in.
All right, the first Tuesday, a little light, talking Batman specific. Batman issue number 137, part of the Gotham War, the Batman Catwoman Gotham War storyline. This would be chapter 2 of that story. Oh, look at that. I didn't even notice that on the front cover. It's done the Marvel method of issue 137, Legacy number 902.
Yeah, I saw that.
Written by Chip Zdarsky, art by Jorge Jimenez. I mean, we're gonna go week by week because there's a couple chapters of this Gotham War that were released this month. This issue, I thought it was a good issue. I liked it. It advanced a little bit more of the story. I think I enjoy it because yes, this is a Batman issue tie-in, but it doesn't feel like a cheat at all. It feels like, it's following Batman. It's adding to the conflict, checking in with Batman, like his reactions to, the other people in Gotham and, how they're feeling about Catwoman's new idea on crime. And ended a little bit of like a, but I really liked what it did tease though, of having that, the villains at the table. I still do not like him as a Scarecrow design. But
the Rastafarian Scarecrow is growing on me.
It is? Okay.
Yeah,
maybe I'm in the minority there. I'm just okay. Yeah, not really.
The McFarlane toy I still don't like because I think it's too bright. Like it's too many like hot
it's like
colors.
Yellow and almost like pink or something too.
Neon.
It's like weird.
It's very Schumacher.
Yeah,
almost.
A little strange. But a good Batman versus the family fight at the end and stuff too, and then a good tease of back at Wayne Manor, not of Batman of Zero and R popping up yet again.
Thank God.
but spoiler alert, Mr. Vandal Savage is now the owner of Wayne Manor, which I don't know. I'm ready for status quo Batman back in the manor. It's his, but anyways, there we go. What do you think about Batman 137?
I dig this. I think this is one of Zdarsky's better issues as a writer of Batman. I enjoyed the ending with Vandal Savage. I thought it was kind of interesting, having someone else own the manor legally and all that jazz. It almost kind of reminded me of Rises in a way, you know, especially since it's gone and he's got to go back to it. Yeah, I enjoy what the Gotham War has done for the Bat family. I kind of dig this conflict within. It seems to be the only one who's really Damian, who's on Batman's side, which is kind of interesting in itself. And you know, everyone else is against him. Appearances by Professor Pig, Mad Hatter, just nice, cool stuff. Progresses the storyline really nicely. Jimenez does a wonderful job. Is this Jimenez? Yeah, drawing this book. Like it's great. Like tons of Batman in shadows and lots of cape flowing and scared faces. Like this seems like a really well drawn Batman book. Tim Drake looks great. I have a hard time really like having any real complaints until Fruity Pebbles Batman pops up in like a shadow, but like whatever, he's gonna be here for a little bit. Overall it's pretty good.
Yeah, Zdarsky just keeps throwing teases with that, so I don't know, it doesn't excite me when I see it.
I feel like that Simpsons didn't mean Morrison did it.
Yeah. I don't know why I just don't feel the need to go back to that.
Yeah. Especially now since they're gonna put like Batmite and Michael Keaton Batman and Adam West Batman and all these stupid costumes looking like highlighters and shit. Like, all right, whatever.
But overall with this issue, I mean, I can't even say that's a major complaint because it was just like one page, a couple panels, and it was a tease. So
it's just complain for future issues.
Yeah. I'm laying the groundwork that I'll have more to say if more pops up. But yeah, I mean, at this point of this basically chapter 2 of the Gotham War, yeah, I'm digging it. And I'm glad to have Jimenez back on drawing because I mean, would you put him at A-list at this point? See, he's an A-lister, isn't he?
Probably like of this like current like run of DC, yeah, he's probably at the top of the list.
Yeah, he does some really great work. Big fan. Moving right along to the next Tuesday, the Batman Scooby-Doo Mysteries number 12 reaches its epic finale for this volume, Peter.
How excited are you?
Did you? Well, sometimes there is a little bit of like when something comes to an end, there's a little bit of a relief because it lightens our load just a little bit. And also, you know, give you time to miss something. If it was an ongoing series, it could maybe be tired, but you know, it's like, hey, we have an endpoint, issue 12. Don't know if or when we're gonna get more of these, and it's I don't know, be a nice little break. Did you end up reading this one?
No,
you didn't. Okay, then I don't know that you ever will, but I want to be a little spoiler free on it. This was actually really fun because the Mystery Inc., you know, they open up with a good old, you know, like a classic Scooby-Doo kind of confrontation and end up in the Batcave, which is a really cool shot with some cool Easter eggs and everything all over the place. And they end up taking a nap. But when they wake up, it's like, how long did they take a nap? Oh, wait, yeah. Something put up, yeah. So they take a nap and they wake up in a Batcave. There you go. And they wake up in the Batman Beyond world and they're taking on the Royal Flush Gang. And so that kind of becomes a cool little mystery to them of like, wait, how far in the future are we? And then when all is revealed at the end, there's also some good nods in the Beyond universe. But then, yeah, when all is revealed, what really happened, it's a really nice twist. And that was more so of why that, and then like the Easter eggs inside the Batcave was kind of, I was telling you, like, you get some time.
Red herring in it?
Herring? No, sorry. But it was like what I was telling you, if you get some free time, you have like 10-15 minutes because these issues don't take long to read. I'd recommend it just because like it's a fun revelation towards the end of the issue. and the issue's fun up to that point too. So, yeah, and that wraps like this volume of these stories. And I don't know if there's going to be more, but I think it's what you'd expect. I know that you're in and out of it, like maybe an issue here, then not an issue here, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Fun, easy entertainment for fans of Batman and Scooby-Doo. So
I'm so
there we
happy
go.
for you. Do you want a movie now? Do you want to add any movie?
Pete's, yeah, give me another.
Yeah.
Brave and the Bold Scooby-Doo is freaking awesome. The old cartoons are good. They
Was
did
it
the
Casey Kasem as Robin back then?
Casey Kasem, yes. And then it was the Scooby-Doo and Guess Who, and that was the one where Mystery Inc. ended up at Wayne Manor, and Conroy was Batman, and Hamill showed up as Joker.
Oh, nice.
That cartoon was awesome. So yeah, it's just like they kind of go hand in hand. So I'd be all for, and they're still making Scooby movies. Like I think one's supposed to come out in October, even written by our pal Tim Sheridan. That's Scooby-Doo in like the DC universe. So yeah, I don't know. I'm a fan.
Oh,
you're waiting for me to just wrap up.
Isn't there? I think I posted this on Straight Outta Gotham. Isn't there a Scooby-Doo crypto animated movie coming up soon? I believe there is. I believe that was actually announced. I'm sorry. So there is some Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo crypto. Yeah, that's the one that's coming out in October. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I know this isn't this
I'm
Superman
interested.
book club, but I just figured I'd drop that. So
yeah,
for Scooby lovers, if you need your Scooby snacks,
Scooby-Doo Wop and a Scooby snack.
Oh man,
I remember that song.
Wanted a Scooby-Doo Wop. Scooby-Doo Wop. Scooby-Doo Wop. Doo Wop. Doo Wop. Doo Boo.
Yep. Take it away, Holzmann.
Hold. Kiss by Rose.
No, it was
Eric Holzmann singing all the epic songs on your grave. Ooh.
Perfect. Holzmann. All right, so moving right. He's always with us in spirit.
He'll never listen to this. He'll have no idea we did this.
Yeah, he'll have no idea.
He's like, comic books hit nerds.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna go sit at a stoplight and sing Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
To the masses.
I heard they got back at the Grammys or the MTV Music Awards. I couldn't be there, so that's why they had them there.
Holzmann. All right. Also, that second Tuesday in September, Pete, this was one I was very excited about. This is one that they were really pushing DC. It's a new Black Label story with Batman, and that you have my interest with that one, and that's Raphael. I know it's it looks like Grandpa, but it's got the accent, so I don't know exactly how Grandpa.
I would say Grandpanier.
Okay, Raphael G.
Sorry.
Batman, Gargoyle of Gotham. I'll let you take the lead on this one because I'm curious what you think.
This book fascinates me. This is so
fantastic.
It's like this gives me vibes of The Imposter because I look at the art and the art is different. The costume's different. It's a different tone. It seems way more serious, right? It's got a little bit more of like an anime vibe though with the bat suit, which I don't know if I really like. It kind of reminds me of that supposed Nolan tie-in Gotham Knights. Like it looks like that kind of bat suit from one of those shorts, the anime version. The villain's interesting because I don't really know what to expect. It's still so new. I'm digging Gordon. It's just just overall it's like a really cool fresh take on Batman and a new villain, and it's just I don't know, these Black Label books are such a breath of fresh air because I feel like a lot of these Bat books are kind of generic these days, and this one stands out.
I think this has a what do you want to say? A mashup of almost like different styles and influences it feels throughout because I double dipped. I got the noir version as well.
What's that look like? It's just black and white.
Well, then there's little sprinkles of like red for blood at times too and everything. Like it was actually it was cool.
Purse, interesting.
Yeah, exactly like Schindler's List. There's a little girl in a red coat.
Mm-hmm. That was a purse. All right.
Influences. Let's see. What was I saying? Like you said, I also thought that like there's a lot of coloring where it feels like the Batman, almost like that brown, tan, red-ish kind of tint to things like of Gotham itself. I thought the look on the cover is what I thought the interiors were going to be, and then it wasn't. So it wasn't that I was disappointed. It was just like, oh, okay. I thought like that because it looked almost like a very realistic style. But then the cover is fascinating too because I didn't discover this. It was like something I came across like upside down, and it's like a bat flying, which is a nice little.
No, that's dope. Yeah, well,
nice little
cool.
touch with that. The bat suit itself, it's like so I think there's some with coloring and then the shape. It reminds me of Nick Darrington's Batman a little bit, which I think is cool. I really like that design. It makes you think almost like long underwear that then stretches up over the head, kind of. I know football players wear it a lot.
See, to me, it looks like he's wearing chaps.
And yeah, that a little bit too, which is like, huh.
And then, honestly, the boots remind me of Aquaman's boots from the movies. Like, I know I'm going really into detail on this.
Oh, the Aquaman.
They do. I don't like the cowl or the bat logo, but like that's.
Ooh, I do. Okay, I do like the cowl. I like the cowl quite a bit. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to find it because there's
those ridges on the neck. It's very awkward. I think
there's two. There's two spots where I thought the dialogue, it took me out of it just because it just felt a little bit like trying really hard. I can think one was almost even okay. I'm trying to find it. It's like when he gets hit with the hammer. I know this is riveting, but I knew I needed to make a note of it, and I freaking forgot.
What did you think of the Batmobile?
There's a little bit of like some, yeah. I mean, there's just two moments with dialogue that kind of took me out a little bit. Cause I'm like, oh, this seems like it's really trying. The Batmobile I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
I forget what he called it. And I read this twice, so I can't, like, I'm annoyed that I'm going blank on some of these things. I get the motif of kind of like it's blind. Basically, like he can't see out of it. It's just going based all on like GPS and signal and stuff.
I like that. I like his dialogue. He's like, I spent half my inheritance on this car with no windows.
Yeah.
GPS does all the work. I was like, that's very interesting. Like, is it?
The blind machine. That's
does it
what
not have windows. You're as blind as a bat.
But yeah, you get it because he's a bat. He's Batman. I thought the villain, like you said, was interesting, and I really liked how he goes very, he's very black and white, noir looking with his look when he shows up. I like that. It kind of made me think of the Harley Quinn White Knight book too. The villain in that was black and white. But I gotta say, Batman's first appearance in this comic, man, do I love that image. Yeah, when he's walking down that hallway and he's backlit, so you just see his outline and it's in shadow. And I mean, and then the dialogue makes me laugh because it says, "What have I become?" And I just think of "Hurt" by Johnny Cash. What have I become? But I love this image, and it looks just as good in like the noir version. And I'm not someone that is just like, yeah, give me everything noir version because I'm pretentious and blah 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 or anything like that. It was just I thought this would look really cool in black and white, and it actually like it really does. So this is supposed to be 4 issues total. I think it's in every other month. So yeah, the next issue will be in November. Just high praise. High praise.
Yeah,
Gargoyle
like
Gotham.
you said, like this book was kind of. They've been hyping this book up a lot, and I think with good reason. These Black Label books honestly have been a lot better since the label has been changed from Elseworlds to Black Label.
And we have a new one coming next month too, and that is in the magazine format. The Christian Ward's doing it. Something of Gotham, man.
The Lower of Gotham.
Yeah, exactly.
The Lower of Gotham. Welcome to Ryan Lauer's Gotham Book Club.
No, Batman City of Madness. There we go. That comes out next month, and that's a Black Label. And I love that format of the magazine format. Maybe, my brain can warm up and I can get my thoughts together.
If you lived in Gotham City, do you think you'd actually be a librarian in the Gotham Public Library?
No.
No.
No. I'd probably be safe in a library though.
I was thinking probably one
Because
of the safer
criminals
places.
wouldn't care about like breaking into a library.
Yeah, why would they want to?
The bookworm
Probably
would be.
it'll probably be some stupid riddle for the Riddler, right?
That's true.
That's probably it.
Yeah.
But hopefully Holzmann's
Um,
working that day.
yeah. Of course he is.
And they could
Uh,
serenade him.
moving along, there's another debut issue of an ongoing series that also this month. Batman and
Oopsis
Robin.
and Granny Goodness.
Oh yeah, no, that's next month, Pete. It's coming. Can't wait. I'm on the pull list. Josh Williamson, Simone DeMeo, Batman and Robin series.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say like I was like let down. I was just like, because it's Damian Robin. I was kind of just like whatever with this issue. Didn't do a whole lot for me. And I like Simone DeMeo's art.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There was kind of like a lot in this. It was very, very bright throughout. Like it has like that glow. I think it's, it nods a little bit maybe to like anime and manga style.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the color.
Yeah, maybe the coloring, it just felt, I don't
And
know.
DeMeo does his own coloring. It feels too like lit up in certain.
Yeah,
there's light everywhere, but there's so much. It's a weird contrast between light and dark because the backgrounds are so bright, but the foregrounds and the characters are covered in shadow. It's weird.
Yeah,
it's a weird.
And
dynamic.
I'm a fan of his art. I think I think he's a really good artist.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's the biggest part. Then if maybe the coloring just kind of got me like, I don't know. And then on top of it, like the story didn't really do much for me, to be honest. And which is kind of crazy considering, the end battle is Batman and the terrible trio and Whale and Man Bat and Killer Croc, and it should be like cool, but I guess it's the whole focus on the story makes sense of like Bruce telling Damon, we got to keep up appearances, so you're living with me in in our apartment here, townhouse here in the city, and blah blah. And then they go to take off the masks of the trio, and it's like, oh no, he's really a fox. And it's like, okay. And then bats, the big cliffhanger, spoiler, bats attack Batman. And then it was just over. And I was like, okay. Like, I don't know. I'm not sold.
It's cliffhanger. I thought it was a solid issue. I didn't think it was great.
Okay.
I thought it was interesting. I think it sets up everything really well. I feel like it just puts everything in place. It follows what Williamson's been doing. Williamson's been very heavy on Damian. And he's done a couple of Damian side stories and issues of his own. So it makes sense that Damian's kind of more of the focal point. Almost, right? Like everything seems to be kind of centered around Damian. Damian even has Robin even has his own car now, again, for the first time, I think, since the Redbird in the late 90s, and not the Joel Schumacher Redbird, the car Redbird.
Mm-hmm.
And I was into it. I was just like, okay, cool. I'm ready for more. I dig the Croc design more than most, just because it doesn't look so crocodile-y. Like I kind of like him a little bit more human than
Crocodile.
You like what was it like? Like one of the Arkham games took it too far. Like when he gets like too reptilian, I kind of like him as a mixture of humanoid with like skin condition type thing. So that's kind of what this looks like a little bit to me. Yeah, it was all right. It was good. It was solid. Like you can't go wrong with this.
Yeah, I mean, there's enough there for me to be intrigued. I'll read it next month. I'll pull a Peter Verra. You got 3 issues, and then if I'm not hooked, then I might just pass. But, yeah, I guess we'll just see. We'll see.
I don't like this Robin suit though. I wish they would go with something more traditional.
It doesn't help that it's also with Damian. Although they toned down his dickness. And not Dick Grayson.
He's become less of an asshole as the years go on.
Yeah. So, are we reaching a point where, let's see, what are we, 15? We're getting close to where Damian is Robin longer than Tim Drake is Robin. I think we have a couple more years.
Yeah.
There's like 2 or 3 more years.
Another bad decision by Grant Morrison was giving Batman a kid.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Moving right along. Peter, Batman White Knight presents Generation Joker #5.
Mm-hmm.
Did you start last one? Or... Yeah, you can start this one. What do you think?
It was good. It didn't blow me away. Like, I feel like some of the other issues of Generation Joker. It moves the story along. I feel like it's just a lot of story and not a whole lot of action, really. But the ending's really surprising. So the ending it's a wonderful tease cliffhanger type deal, better than Batman and Robin. So I'm like eagerly waiting for the next issue because it's supposed to be the end anyway.
The finale.
So, but that last page, I was like, oh, so that's where you've been. It makes sense because I feel like we've gotten to everybody else in the Rogues Gallery except for you. So yeah, no, it's a very good issue. It's not mind blowing, but you again can't go wrong. I think
this might be like my favorite issue of the story.
Really, you're that high on it. Okay.
Yeah, I liked it a lot because especially if there are things that really stand out, and then by that end has me want to go back to the first issue and then reread.
Mm-hmm.
And I do.
I love the issue where the kids are all like surrounded by the Joker gang. Like that issue was my favorite.
Oh, and how it ended?
Well, just
But
like
I
the
think
issue as a
3
whole.
ended okay. 3 ended, I think, with the Joker kids gang around, and then 4 opened with like, we're the Joker's kids, and then they were like celebrating. I think
it was 4 then. Yeah, because it was 4. It was the celebration
that,
and turn. Yeah.
Or something. Man, maybe I've got it mixed up now. Maybe that was 2 into 3, and then 3 ended with the freeze suit, the orange freeze suit. Anyways, all right. You already said what you like.
With you.
When writers Clay McCormick and Katana Collins were on this back in May, this show, there was something that Clay had said in issue 5 that to him was like, yeah, it's pretty noticeable of like, that's a Clay moment. Mm-hmm. So I messaged him and I said, the Two-Face revelation, was that the Clay thing? And he said, and he laughed and said, yes, that was me. And I said, actually, when I saw the swinging polar bear, I thought that was the Clay moment. And he said, well, that was also me. Yes. Because it just like that. I love that a couple pages. I love where they end up. Mm-hmm. It's so fitting, right? Of where they end up on it toward the end of this issue. And I just feel like we'll have a big confrontation at the end or next issue in the amusement park. And there's really a freaking polar bear that pops and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, because why not? And then, yeah, the Two-Face thing. I don't know. I think there's a great mood about like this issue, especially when they reach the old amusement park and the story moves along. And like I said, it really hits that end note to make me think about going back and wanting to, because you almost like want to say, and go back and see if all the pieces fit.
Yeah.
Or if they're, because like, oh, okay, it was there and I was just like missing it sort of deal. So, yeah, I mean, it's just another solid issue in the series. And then after next month, I don't know the next time we'll get a White Knight anything. So I guess like enjoy. If you're enjoying it, enjoy.
Hope for that animated movie. That's next.
There you go. If they do it right.
Yeah. No,
make it look really good. Oh, geez. This is a weird one. Moving on next, but it's justified because my rules. But I'm putting it here instead of Batman and Friends because of the way that it comes out. Catwoman, #57. What? That's a Catwoman title.
I know.
Should be in Batman and Friends.
Who's on the cover?
Peter protested. He was about ready to say, "I'm not going to do this show ever again because you're breaking rules." And I said, hold on,
breaks all the rules and then he makes up new ones so he has his rules in his pocket.
So
it's called the Lauer Standard, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, the Lauer Standard.
Infamous in parts of California.
Yeah. The slimiest parts.
The dungeons with no dragons.
Yes. Anyways, Batman is on the cover of Catwoman #57. This is also chapter 3 of Batman Catwoman, the Gotham War.
I recently posted on, I think it was Twitter, how the best thing about Gotham War is it's getting Ryan Lauer to read more about characters in Gotham City that he normally wouldn't care about. And I appreciate that.
I care about Catwoman.
Yeah, you do. You don't read her monthly.
No, I don't read her monthly. It doesn't
Yeah,
mean I
you
don't care.
You don't,
I
you
just,
don't
I
care.
don't read
You
her.
don't,
God,
you don't
man.
care about the adventures of Selena Kyle and
Man, oh man. Man, oh man. So, anyways, Pete, what do you think of this issue?
this is kind of one of my favorite issues of the month, to be honest.
There you go. Oh, buddy.
Oh, you got a little Vandal Savage, you got Catwoman in the gallery. It really moves the story along. It's violent, it's sexy, it's like, oh man, this is like a great comic book. It really is. And then
This could almost be a Batman issue, like on the cover, It's a pretty heavy balance, or it's a pretty heavily leaned towards Batman throughout, almost more than Catwoman.
And the dynamic between Jason and Selena is interesting. That we'll talk about that later. And there's a little bit of Jason versus Batman, so that's fun. Like I was like, man, this is everything I want in a comic book. Might be my pick of the month. Go on.
I think because there's a lot of time spent between Catwoman and Vandal Savage and her at the opera and stuff that justifies it being. I mean, I don't know. It's totally fitting that it's it's a great cover. I think it's a great cover. I think the art inside is great. I think this is a great Teenie Howard and then Nico Leon,
wonderful job
on art.
Wonderful job.
But it's a great building on the story thus far, I think this is a crucial chapter. It's not a roll your eyes kind of tie-in sort of deal. It's like, I feel like they probably could have just justified the Gotham War parts 1 through 7, sort of deal instead, but whatever.
Catwoman's been on a really good run since like issue 35 of the New 52. Like since that issue, when she became basically like when it started her reign as like mob boss of Gotham. Yeah, I believe it was issue 35 then. It's been on a really good run.
There's a bit of a revelation at the end about one of Catwoman's assistants. But did you have to question a little bit why is it at the very bottom? Like, this is Catwoman number 57. This month was Batman issue 137, and at the bottom it says to be continued in Batman number 158. So in almost 2 years from now, we're gonna pick up the threads of this. And it's like,
got to be a typo.
Yeah, it has to be, right? Like, that's got to be one. It's supposed to be 138, but what they have printed is a 5 for sure. So
I wonder if this error issue is gonna be worth money.
I don't know. Regardless, great issue. And we're not done with the Gotham War. We'll get to that here in a couple minutes. So good entry. Moving along, another good entry. Batman Superman World's Finest number 19. Dan Mora did this cover. I love this cover. Good old Eddie on the front. Nice little like green kind of layer over the whole thing. And that green really pops.
That's the Riddler. That's definitely the Riddler. He's wearing green.
The Riddler for
he's
sure.
Got question marks. He's got purple gloves. Yeah, that's the Riddler.
Change that look. It's not the Riddler.
Yeah, no. He's got to have pink flat top.
Biggest surprise to me in this issue is that it ended this arc making this a 2-issue arc. I was like, nice. Okay, that's refreshing. I thought it was gonna be stretched out to 4, maybe 5, but next month it's teasing that they're revisiting the Kingdom Come world. So there you go, Garrett Grev. This one heavily leaned Superman
fan first.
Sci-fi. But we got some more Riddler in this.
Yeah, it feels very vintage to me, right? Doesn't this feel like a 70s book you would almost pick up? Like that's why I like it. It was only 2 issues because it was short. It was sweet. Yeah. And I kind of dig how it seems like Wade is like changing styles with every story he tells or every arc, like this, like I said, this feels very 70s to me.
Yeah. And then I think the suit, Batman's look, his suit, I think adds to what you're talking about. It feels like a little 70s vibe. It's
Everything
there's
just
something with
seems a
the
little
Colin stuff.
simpler. Even
Yeah.
Superman, even what's his name? Fake Zod. What's his name?
Yeah, fake Zod.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had to go back like 3 different times. It's like, what was his name? And the
Yeah.
fact I still don't remember doesn't
Just
say
make
much.
make it a Kryptonian name. His name is Saxer.
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 Saxer, I hardly know her. But this classic comic books can't just have something be completely closed, and instead they add a little, hey, remember that figure that you didn't know? Well, coming next year in Action Comics, sort of deal. It's like, oh, okay, whatever. But I thought for an issue that especially was
They've
very
done a lot of that in
heavily
this series, though.
very heavily sci-fi-ish and stuff too. It's like I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the 2-issue arc. I thought it was fun. And
I
that's
feel
kind
like
of what
they've teased a lot, though, Ryan, in the series.
Yeah.
I'd rather them do it this way than the way they do it in like than what they did in Urban Legends and Brave and the Bold, where it's like, here's a piece of the story. The rest is coming next year. It's like, oh, here's this here's this like 2 issues worth of story, and we'll tease something that's forthcoming. Like, I just think it's more to chew on.
I think Wade has for me, he has found his groove with this title, that it's kind of churning out like fun chapter after chapter. It's not too heavy, but it's more, there's more to chew on than the fun Batman Scooby-Doo book. It's like he brings more to it than just like, oh, it's fun.
Mhm.
No, there's like a lot of stuff to follow and everything too, but it's a good balance. It's a nice, from like the darkness of Gargoyle of Gotham and what we're going to talk about next. It's like there's a nice spread here, because then Gargoyle of Gotham and what's coming up is like all the way at like the heaviest end of the spectrum. Scooby-Doo is at the total opposite end, and then this kind of sits like a little in the middle, scheming towards lighter. And so we're just kind of have a lot of different flavors, that's Batman. It's only Batman can.
Only Batman can, says the Holzmann man.
The final Tuesday of September, Pete. Oh man, I don't know if I want. Yeah. You can go first with this because I'll end it on a positive note. Batman the Brave and the Bold, number 5.
Oh yeah, okay. Tom King story, overrated. The other stories are crap, and the only good story in the book's the black and white one. So if you want to waste $8 on a piece of shit, go ahead.
Okay, well, I have more to say than that. The winning card after 2 months off, we get part 3 of that Tom King, Mitch Gerrard's.
After making you spend $16 on books you didn't want because the main title's not there. Way to go.
Yeah. The Angel of Gotham story at the end, I think, is great. The black and white one. Get that out of the way. I've really enjoyed the black and white stories at the end of each of these Brave and the Bold issues.
They've probably been the best ones.
I have not read the Stormwatch and Hardcore stories or anything in between.
Oh, shout out to James Gunn for getting your wife into DC, by the way. Like, dude, you are running the show, literally.
Yeah, so I skipped those. I skipped, wasn't it a Superman story that also kicked off too, the first issues, and I skipped those. I'm just here for the Batman ones.
They're all,
and I think the Batman one is fantastic. I love it.
Okay.
I think that the art is great. I think that
Mitch did a great job interiors. Yeah.
This Joker is like nasty evil. Especially like this issue, he goes in the shitter, and that page where he's looking out of the shitter, like that's freaking terrifying, man. Like, that's gross.
Well, this was the one where Alfred wanted Batman to like punch him in the face, or the other way around.
Yeah, that's stupid. I don't know about that. Like so much of like
Tom King writes better sometimes when he doesn't write at all.
I just
grunts.
I don't know. Like that's just one to me that it obviously didn't ruin it for me, but I'm also kind of like meh with that part. Everything else I think just nails it. I've loved since the first issue how they do the old time silent movie dialogue, like text cards. I think that's awesome. I love this story a lot, and I can't wait for trade. because sorry, but they're not going to get me in the end how much money is being spent each issue of this just for like one issue. I didn't do it for Urban Legends because and you told me then of like it was more justifiable with Urban Legends because you were getting like 2-3 good stories for every $8. So that, I mean, you do the math and it works out. Here I'd be getting ripped off. So
I agree.
On their part, I do get how do you get people interested into buying this? You put Tom King and Mitch Gerrits and a Batman Joker story on the front, and it's like, well, yeah, people are coming. If you build it, they will come. But overall, I think this story is awesome. I'm a big fan of it. So look forward to seeing how it wraps up next month and how more messed up the Joker's gonna get. Because if he will play Pennywise and go deep down in the further than that, like worse than Pennywise, go sit in a shitter. Where how do you top that? What's even more gross than that?
Oh, playing shit.
In Holzmann's bedroom? I don't know.
I'm not going there.
Okay. Yeah, don't go in there.
But
moving on.
Your Aunt Trudy, she's still there.
Nice plug. Check out the podcast feed for the latest episode of Straight Outta Gotham. Detective Comics number 1074. Mine will be brief. Dustin Wen, always welcome his art. Big fan of his art. And I think he had great art. You're up, Pete.
Yep. Dustin Wen, fantastic artwork, never disappoints. Ram V, on the other hand, very disappointing. It's just, I don't know. It's okay. I still don't like this story. I don't know where it's going. Every time I see that stupid wolf in that red coat, I think of things we don't speak of in the village. I can't help it. It just every time he pops up, he looks like that monster. It was cool, the dive into Bruce Wayne's psyche. That was interesting, but overall the issues just fall flat. It's slightly better than his even more supernatural stuff earlier. This is a new arc, so at the end of my review, I just was like, hey, comics are like basketball. It's a game of runs. I'm just waiting for this one to run out. Yeah. Like, that's it. I'm just waiting. I got more than enough stuff. I got Black Label, World's Finest, Catwoman, Generation Joker. Like, it's not that big of a deal. I've saved some money, and
yeah,
I won't recommend anyone to buy this. But if you listen to Paul Herman, it's the greatest thing since Bob Kane. So
yeah.
Try it out for yourself.
I like being positive. I like talking about things that I like, and I have not enjoyed this Detective Comics run, and still not.
This is funny because, like I mentioned, Rom earlier.
That's all.
I was talking about Catwoman. Like, he's part of that Catwoman run. He did the Catwoman before Howard, so he's done great things. I just don't like this at all.
Did the Swamp Thing 16 issues, I think, something
that got extended. Yeah, he got an extended series on that.
He did a Black Label Aquaman story that Christian Ward illustrated, and that was cool.
Yeah, this is the only thing he's written I don't like.
Yeah. So, anyways, I've already said all that tons of times. Just not this one's not for me. But keep talking about it because it's a legacy title. So,
well, you have to. It's the title. It's Batman's original title.
Yeah, it's his original title. So, on to Brighter Pastures. This was I vented. I raged, Peter, and I put my temper tantrum on Patreon so people would pay me to hear it about DC and their titling comic books. And I think this is a dumb one. Batman, Catwoman, the Gotham War, Red Hood, number 1. It's too long. It would have been easier. The Gotham War, and this is part 4. Like, more focused on Red Hood, and the chapter is called, Red Hood. But our boy Matthew Rosenberg writing this one.
Mm-hmm.
Check the past, I don't know, 2 years of stuff Rosenberg's done, and Pete and I sing the praises of that guy because he does great work. And he continues it here. The title lives up to, the story lives up to the title. It is Red Hood focused, keeping it here instead of the Batman and Friends because, Batman's in the title and it continues on in the next chapter of this big war and blah, blah, blah.
Fucking lower.
Yep. So I don't know. I think it gives some depth to the Red Hood Catwoman relationship in this story, and how he's taking on training people to be like the Catwoman criminals and turning them from what they used to be into what, she sees fitting from, for the future. I'll give you this. So I commented on not liking Scarecrow's design, but the one panel in here and how it's colored and stuff, I think looks pretty cool of him though. You don't see as much of him, but he's like, you see like an outline, the glowing eyes and stuff, and the green from the fear gas and stuff. And I mean, okay, that's a
Scarecrow,
cool,
right?
that's a cool shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really cool shot. So I was a fan of that, but I like how where the issue ended up as well. Some good drama and adding more conflict to the war, if you will, basically, and kind of like a shit when Catwoman and Batman both find out about this, because they both will. That's just, like, I don't know, that's gonna stir things up even worse.
Oh yeah.
So
It stirs things up within the issue itself. Like Catwoman's kind of fed up with Jason, by issue's end. I thought this thing was amazing. I love the dynamic here. I love what Jason was doing. I liked his training program or whatever it was. I just thought it was. I'm really impressed with what they've done with the Red Hood over the last 5 years. They've actually made him an enjoyable character, and this just adds to it. I still think he looks too much like he's wearing I don't know, some sort of Mortal Kombat outfit recently, but yeah. But this issue was great. Like this one and the Catwoman one are right up my alley. I'm like, yo, dude, this is fantastic. Really, I'm all about this. I could care less. It could have had like an extra, I don't know, subtitle, and I still wouldn't care.
Batman, Catwoman's Gotham War, Red Hood,
Issue
Apprentice,
70,
lightsabers, motorcycle, Fight Club, Brad Pitt, Tyler Durden, #1.
Tyler Durden, Eric Holzmann. I like how someone's after Red Hood. I like how Spoiler's involved in this. I hope she's in the next issue, even though she's a Batgirl now. I always love Stephanie Brown. Like, you could basically call me Tim Drake. So like I thought it was really cool. It's just like, oh man, I love these down gritty Gotham stories. Like this is everything a Batman fan wants. Yeah. Like Bill should read this, even though he hates sidekicks.
Yeah. I don't know. These should drop on DC Universe Infinite Ultra in October. And if somebody hasn't, and I get it, I do, when they do, this is, I mean, yes, you could say this is an event, but it's like a mini event. And it's only lasting through October. I think.
Remember Shadow of the Bat? It's like that.
Yeah.
It's an event self-contained within the Batman books. So it's not like a crazy amount of money.
And if you already subscribed to that service and they're dropping, I just highly recommend to catch up because it's worth it. It's a good ride. So this is one that I support diving into.
When you say Ultra, you remind me of the voiceover of the Charmin commercials.
Oh, cool.
Charmin Ultra, softer on your bum.
What I think of that is the little boy. My hiney's clean.
Yeah. I can see like a little teddy bear on the pooper. It's little Ryan Lauer. If you've never gotten the Elmo
my
emoji
happy place.
If you've never gotten the Elmo emoji from Lauer, you're not playing.
That and the woman fainting, I think, are my two highest used gifs. And then third place isn't even close. Those are the two. So there you go. The more you know. That wraps with Batman centric books. So Pete, we know it's always time to journey to Batman. I'll take it away first, because we just talked about Matthew Rosenberg. So let's talk about him a little bit more. The Joker, the man who stopped laughing, number 10, a book that gave me such confidence in more rogues focused titles, which we'll also get to here in a moment. Because it's building toward its ultimate conclusion, which I did see is going to be issue 12. So we've got 2 more months of this, and then it all wraps up. And the collection of volume 1 with that awesome Liber Mayo cover is also out now, that I highly recommend if people are waiting. I might even double dip, because I bought the physicals for everything because I wanted those Bermeo covers. And now Francesco Mattina is doing Yeah, Variants, which is this month's, was also awesome.
Oh, so you like the Italian artists, huh?
Yeah. How about that? How about them
Look at
apples?
that. Check that out.
I thought that this issue was, more unexpected, fun violence.
The most unexpected thing about this issue, to be honest with you, was the fact that the backup stories are tied in to the primary.
Yeah.
That
And
I was
that's why
like,
I can't,
whoa, Rosenberg.
which I know that I don't remember if it was Rosenberg or Francavilla said a long time ago that like yeah, it had to be Rosenberg that it does tie, but like it's not going to be bluntly obvious how. And so I'm I'm really
Like,
dying in to
who
go
is he
back and
even
reread them.
talking to on that bed? Is that the Joker? Is that another Joker?
Well, first of all, we'll talk to or Francavilla's art has been just awesome. And a thing that I love in addition to his art is the coloring for his stuff. In which, let's see. Yeah, he has to do his own coloring because even in the credits it just says he gets art and then there's lettering and editor credits and that's it. So he
It
has to
usually
do.
covers everything.
Yeah. And I think it fits well. It's great. And yeah, just like you said, and then how it ends is kind of like a what? Which is awesome. And then and that's the backup tying into the main story, and then that main story. Like, I don't know. This book is awesome. And it's
I
really
want to
making me
reread
want to
this from
yeah,
start. Like, I think it's
yep.
gonna be fascinating.
I do too. I want to reread it, and then it's making me because I know I kind of gave up on the first Joker that Tynan was doing. You stuck with it throughout, and you said that it was good.
Yeah.
Maybe it was I gave in or I gave up on it because that's when we were doing like 30 books a month, and I'm like, I just need to cut some stuff, and I don't remember what's going on with this one.
Mhm.
But it makes me want to go back and read that one. Also, just because Rosenberg's doing such an awesome job on this that I don't know. I don't have enough good things to say about it for a Joker centric book. And this is
It's
probably
awesome.
this is what Denny O'Neil probably envisioned his Joker series from the 70s was gonna be. And sadly he couldn't get it there.
He just
You know?
comics code and all that jazz.
Yep. So you should be able to on DC Universe Infinite Ultra be able to read. Oh, yeah. Wait another week and then this issue might be up available on that. Catch up if you haven't read it. Highly recommended. Nightwing number 106. They finally put to bed like the Titans tie-in stories and stuff and made it more Bloodhaven, Dick focused with Barbara and stuff, kicking off a new arc. I keep saying this with a lot of other stories, like more of the same in the sense of just like this is a God, you and I have had a word for the Nightwing series of just like comfortable reading, maybe.
Yeah, something like
And I
that.
think this is more comfortable reading. Starting a new arc, which is like cool. I'll just keep reading this because it's another 10-15 minute read, maybe. But it's like, oh, that's cool. It looks good.
Yeah, it's good.
Story's progressing. I like the characters. I'm in. Sure.
I like
Let's
at
keep
the
going.
end where the guy's like, "How many backup stories?" Like he's like, "How many girls is Dick Grayson getting it in with? What's going on?" It's just funny to me.
All of them. All of the girls.
It's just like one girl. The one time the spy turns his head, it's like spoiler walks in through the front door, just timings everything.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, it's just this is just comfort food. It's like I know
Yep,
I'm in for
there you go.
a good read. I'm going to enjoy it, and I'll see where it goes. I like the day in the life of Dick Grayson. I
Yep.
enjoy this.
Absolutely. I know you enjoy the next one, and
Oh God,
I want you to take the lead on this because it's only right that you do. Penguin number 2.
Tom King has won back my heart after
Yeah.
that Joker story I don't like. This Penguin 2 issue is absolutely phenomenal. It's brilliant. This this is going to go down as one of the great Penguin stories of all time. I can feel it already. The help returns.
Yeah.
And Oswald shows him the business. Shows
Killing
him why he's
Time.
still
If you're
top dog.
lost,
Yeah.
who the help is, Batman Killing Time by Tom King.
Which was fantastic. You should read it.
Which was great, yeah.
I didn't expect it. It took a couple twists, a couple turns. It ended in ways I didn't expect. Just wonderful writing, wonderful art. I can't wait to see where this goes. I'm glad that King is kind of tying it into his previous work. It feels very Loeb. Not everything comes out bang, bang, bang. Even though this is probably a little bit closer than what Loeb was doing, but it's like the Tom King world is at least connected. So I appreciate him doing that.
So I'm rusty. I've read Penguin Pain and Prejudice a few times, and that was finally given like I think that's like the top tier Penguin story that many people will think. I think the One Bad Day Penguin story gave that one a run for its money on maybe a contender.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is just 2 issues, but
Yeah.
like I don't know, they found a flavor with Penguin
feel
of he's just he is flat out the Penguin through and through. And then there's more than meets the eye with him, and he like this determination with him, which is what I think is great for the core of the character of I will get what I want. I will find a way to get what I want. And he does.
Mm-hmm.
And like I don't know, and King does it in such a like twisted way with stuff, but like it's riveting drama too. And it's just like, man, this guy, like, so like shameless plug like back in January, I don't know how I lucked out to getting to have him on this show and got to talk to him. And that, I mean, if you weren't won over, he was so friendly and open. But then some of the stuff that he's writing, which is freaking twisted as hell, but continuously good and like hooks you on everything. It's just like, wow, like what a damn good writer, I wasn't hesitant. I was gonna read this series when it was launched or announced, and it has far exceeded expectations, and it's only 2 issues in.
Only 2 issues in, and I think it's going to be groundbreaking. I really do.
Yep.
I don't want to spoil too much because I really want you guys to read it because it's just phenomenal.
Yeah,
not just as an Oswald fan, but just as a Batman fan. Like this is
as a comic fan,
yeah,
a fan of stories,
fan of just villains who just people just don't give credit enough to,
And is Penguin your favorite Batman villain?
Yeah, he might. It used to be Mr. Freeze for a long time, but over the past couple of years, I've definitely like re-fallen in love with Oswald, and he's very popular right now. So I think Oswald probably right now is my favorite villain.
Yeah. So you kind of have a high bar when it comes to quality.
If there's no black goo, I mostly say no do.
Yeah. Was there black goo in this one?
Somewhere sure. Spit it up.
Just throw it counts. Done.
It counts.
So there you go. Highest of recommendations from us on the Penguin series. So that's it for me. What do you have, Pete?
For Batman and Friends?
Batman and Friends.
Harley Quinn, Black, White, and Redder, a fun little anthology book. Just Harley dressing up as what's his name? Well, what the hell is his name? Adam Strange. There's some Catwoman, not Catwoman, Poison Ivy. There's some psychiatrist Harley in there. Just a bunch of just really cool Harley Quinn stories. They're all short, they're all sweet, but this is a solid issue. Chris, I forgot I'm gonna butcher his name. What's his name? Gail Simone wrote one of them, and then but Chris Condon did That Texas Blood. He does a story in there, so I checked it out for that, and he signed my book, so I'm very appreciative of that.
Nice.
So definitely check this book out. It's fun, and not really Batman and Friends, but Justice Society of America. The Huntress, Batman's daughter. She's trying to figure out a mystery. So it's kind of
multiverse. So you got it in. Huntress's daughter, or Batman's daughter.
Did I say
it all counts?
Yeah. Did I say Huntress's daughter?
No, I did.
Oh,
I screwed it up.
So
I was just saying
that's
Batman's
cool.
daughter.
I'm really fascinated by that story, and it's written by the GOAT, Jeff Johns. So, and he's in his wheelhouse. He loves the JSA. He's got a little Flash in there, a little Green Lantern. So, it's good stuff. Check that out. I know Lauer probably isn't reading it, but whatever.
I'm waiting for a collection.
Collection.
The death stare from Pete. This is the last time Pete's gonna go on the Batman book club, so I hope you enjoy it.
I'm gonna start the Nightwing book club and have my own weekly wrap up issues.
There you go. Talking the JSA on the Nightwing book club. Done.
Yeah. Maybe.
So that's a short Batman and Friends list for you.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it for
it's a nice week. Nice month. Nice month. I was gonna say week.
Yeah, that's it for us overall on all issues. So, I mean, you may have shown your hand, but what was your issue of the month?
It's probably a tie between Catwoman and Penguin. I think Catwoman's that good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are sleeping on it.
Oh man. I would be stuck. Gargoyle of Gotham and Penguin.
You don't like Catwoman, huh?
I do like
Sexist.
Catwoman. I do like Catwoman. Stop it.
You're a big fan
Meow.
of Catman.
Meow.
Misogynistic punk.
No.
Masculine male toxicity at its finest, Ryan Lowry.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's me. Masculine toxicity.
That's it.
Giving me my Fruity Pebbles and Mountain Dew. So masculine.
Andrew Tate Jr. over here.
And that's why I'm sending Pete Elmo gifts so much. That diet. So anyways, let's wrap it up. Let's get out of here, Pete. Thanks for coming back on as always. Thanks for thanks for putting in the work.
Always not some fraud.
You're not. Why don't you go ahead and plug away?
You can find me all over social media, Twitter, Instagram, Zach Starts for Platform Vero at Pete Illustrated. You can follow one podcast, or follow a podcast that I co-host with the champion of Long Island, Eric Holzmann, Straight Outta Gotham, at straight_O_G on both Instagram and Twitter. We have a Facebook group and a Facebook fan page. Consider joining both. I have another podcast, Italian Spider-Man Coalition. You can follow that on Twitter at Italians for Spidey. That's a good show. If you like Spider-Man, I appear here every once a month for Brian Lauer's The Batman Book Club. Brian, not Ryan, Brian Lauer. And I'm all over BatmanOnFilm.com, Batman on Film YouTube, and the BOF podcast these days.
Woo!
So
Everywhere.
I'm making my rounds.
Yeah. Speaking, and I always keep it to just this show, but I'm gonna plug in the BOF podcast because I think I will be taking the mic from you for one episode coming up soon because there's a very special guest for that one. So
it's Batman himself.
Batman's gonna be on it.
Batman.
So there you go. As for the Batman Book Club, you can find it on Twitter and Instagram at the Batman BC for latest episode drops, upcoming episodes, and sometimes even some giveaways. And next month, Pete, actually the day after this drops, kicks off October, and it will be the 4th spooky month here on the Batman Book Club. Ooh. So Pete's going to be back for a non-wrap-up discussion.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Freddy versus Jason versus Ash, which was a Wildstorm comic. Pete's
going to buy me all those comics because he said that's why we have credit cards. So he doesn't care that they cost $200.
Actually, very expensive if you go buy the issues.
Those ones are extremely expensive.
Yeah,
and
I was lucky to buy
the saddest part. Let's do a little detour here. The saddest part, Pete, is that I had Freddy versus Jason versus Ash, the comics, as well as the sequel comics.
I didn't know they made a sequel.
I got rid of them. And it wasn't until a while after I got rid of them that then all of a sudden they became hard to find and were extremely expensive.
Those old Wildstorm comics, I think Jimmy Palmiotti did a few of them for Friday the 13th, are amazing.
I was really sad too because I read them quite a bit and I thought they were great. I don't know. I got rid of them because it was like moving too much stuff. I just got rid of and then now
that's why we
keep your comics.
Why you should stay single. Don't let that woman tell you to get rid of your comics.
She didn't tell me to get rid of anything. She embraces it. She said buy all the Batman stuff you want. Bless her heart. So, anyways, also Pete and I go to
just get it in, you'll be fine.
I'm gonna tell Mira what you said, and she's gonna lose positive thoughts about you, Pete.
I will never tell any man to not be single.
Okay. So, anyways,
you'll be a lot happier.
Pete and I, we will get to No Man's Land eventually, but go to the YouTube channel on the Batman Book Club and check out our discussions on Return to No Man's Land.
It turns out there needs to be more than 24 hours in a day.
Yeah, right. It's crazy.
Yeah.
If you want to support the show, there's a variety of ways you can do that. Like I said at the top, join Nicholas Belovko. Thanks again on patreon.com/thebatmanbc. Also, you can support the show from tpublic.com. So go there, type TBBC for the Batman Book Club to get some cool swag with the great logo designed by Justin Kowalski. Wag, yeah.
Swag. Don't say swag. Swag. Don't say swag.
Get some swag. BBC
swag. You
swag.
don't want swag. Nobody wants swag.
Get some frolic swag. On tpublic.com.
You don't know what swag means.
If you want to support the show, and you don't want to spend any money at all, it's 100% A-OK. The easiest, quickest, and most impactful thing you can do is rate and review the show. So whichever podcast feed that you get this from, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, Google Play, iHeartRadio, go to the rate and review page and rate and review the show, because the more reviews the show gets, the more it helps spread the word. And as Pete and I and everybody else knows, the word is panic. So for Peter R. Verra, I am Ryan Lauer, and until next time, remember the comics.